this episode, we are talking about emotions. How a show can make us emotional, why emotions are so important, and if even bad emotions can have a positive impact on said show. Because we talk in this episode about emotions, this episode is not that well structured because it's kinda meh if we make a structure before when we talk about emotions and personal stuff. That's why it's maybe seem a bit unfocused. Plus, we will probably talk about things multiple times, or both of us are going to mention the same thing. But that is important because even though we talk about the same emotion, we don't feel the emotion the same way. For example, when we talk about certain scenes, someone of us feels sad by the scene and someone could be laughing because of the scene. Or if we both watch or read a sad scene, maybe someone feels, oh, this is a 10 out of 10 sad scene, and the other one, yeah, I'm sad, but it's only a 7 out of 10 sad. So that's why maybe things will be mentioned twice. Also, spoiler warning, because when we talk about emotions, we need to mention emotional scenes, and we need to talk about why that scene is emotional. And then we need to talk about what happens. Quite simple, I would say, this one.
Yes.
And I would start with one thing that, which is, why are emotions important? Because for me, I would say, if a show makes me feel something, I would say the show has done something right most of the time, unless I'm completely disappointed and angry at the writing or at a fellow or something. Because if I feel sadness, joy, sorrow, or even hatred towards some characters, then the writer has done something right.
Mhm. Yes. So if you don't feel anything, a show can't be good in the opposite case.
Yes, then it's just bland.
Yes.
And that's why I think this episode is quite important. Also, I would say you rarely talk about emotions besides nowadays the hype stuff.
Mm.
Or certain scenes which are famous for being emotional.
Yes.
So that's why I've prepared some scenes and some emotions that are not that mainstream or often talked about, I would say. Besides some other
Hmm.
obvious ones. Do you have anything to say about the topic emotions, or should we start with some more specific stuff?
Yes, there are, of course, a lot of emotions, and you don't always get the emotion the author wants to portray, but I think in most of the cases it's pretty obvious what the author wants to portray, what the emotion, basically.
Yes, and with that we can also put the anime studio there, do it with or voice actors, with voice acting, music and stuff, which also can bring out
Mm,
some emotions.
yes.
Because there are many ways to convey emotions. Music, voice acting, some very detailed facial expressions, some surprises, and stuff.
Yes.
Then,
Well, you talk about some specific scenes. I will talk more about genres, what emotions they mostly portray.
I don't talk about scenes per se, I just use them as examples to get the point
Yes, yes, I know what you mean. But I will talk more about genres, what emotions they make you feel.
across. For example, one example where you can see it is Witch Hat, a show which was airing in the last season, which is very good at bringing out one emotion which is kind of lost when you get old. It's the childlike curiosity, and where the simplest things can impress you as a child. Because when you are little and watch a fantasy movie, or read a fantasy manga, watch a fantasy anime, all of magic is impressive because it's new to you. It's shiny. But when you get old, you have seen all of the possible magics and stuff, and it's just normal for you. But in Witch Hat, I feel again like a child when I see some magic. A great example is when we see magic used for the first time when we see the child Coco flashback. This was a magical scene. I just felt again like a child.
Yeah, true, true.
That's an example for not so clear emotions because, yes, I will talk about sad scenes, but a bit more nuanced stuff as well. Also, what is Richard good at when you read further in the manga or continue further in the story is a feeling of conflictedness. Because that's also an emotion when you don't know in a story what is right or wrong and have an inner conflict. Like when you have, for example, a character who does something wrong but has kind of a right motive. Then you think yourself, oh, that guy's a bastard, but he kinda has a point. Or when
Mm,
there's not a good and a bad side, not black and white, yeah? When there's a gray side, you think, yes, this side has a point, but they're really shitty in that regard, and the other side is good in that regard, but has a really shitty quality here. I think that's a witch hat very well if you delve in deeper in the story. But I won't spoil that, because someone wants to watch this, I think.
mm.
What do you have?
I do have, of course, the romance genre. And it should be clear that most of the romans want you to get you to hype up for the last confession or the kiss. And yeah, most of the time, whenever I see the confession or the kiss scene, I am hyped with tears in my eyes of joy because it finally happened. I was so hyped to see it, and then it happened. And then I sometimes get teary eyes from joy because it finally happened there.
Yes, that's something that I also have on my list. Emotions that are not one dimensional. Because when you say you have tears in your eyes, you normally think, ooh, something sad happens. But you can also
Mm,
have tears in your eyes because you are happy.
yes.
So not every emotion is one dimensional, and some of them can be
Mm,
multi layered.
yes. Yeah, but it's pretty obvious. Romance also has some comedic aspects, so you can laugh a lot. Yeah.
Wholesomeness also, where you are just happy. When you see a couple
Mm,
being together, for example.
yes, true.
When they just experience their day to day life as a couple.
Yes. But also some grief because when your favorite character gets rejected, then you can feel grief.
Or anger.
Yes, or anger.
Because someone is still mad that his favorite wife lost in the coins. I don't know who that is.
Yes.
That's also why people like to watch harem shows, because in the end you have possibly the greatest emotions. Because you basically won because your waifu won.
Mm,
People have basically proxy wars in their waifu wars.
yes.
Also quite emotional. Some guys arguing online that their waifu is better than the other waifu.
Mm,
That also fits the criteria really well. Romance shows can also be very sad, either because a loved one dies or because of some rejections or some breakups.
mm, yes.
But most high school shows don't do breakups, but there are some shows who have some good breakups and some good drama around it.
Mm,
Drama is also a thing because in romance there can be a lot of drama with love triangles or some well unwanted pregnancy, for example, and stuff. With pregnancy
wait, wait,
people,
wait. What anime did you watch with pregnancy?
Nana,
What?
Nana,
Nana?
yes, where one of the Nanas got pregnant because well stuff happened obviously, and now there's drama because of it. She keeps the child, she not keeps the child if her father's being responsible and stuff. This is a
Okay,
topic
okay.
for general more mature series.
Yeah.
Or some josei when some grown-up couple are dating. You don't have that in high school romances, which you watch, I
Nope.
know. It should not be there. It would be giga weird.
Yeah.
But in high school romances, we have love triangles and stuff for the drama part.
Mm. Yes.
But I would say romance is one of the genres which is probably the most dependent on its emotions.
It is. Yes.
But I also have, which can be sometimes in romance, I have proudness or being proud of someone. When some character does something where you're proud when they are finally doing a confession.
Mm.
My example is not from romance, it's Thorfinn. Because you are proud of his character development like a dad kinda. You are proud that when he has no, when he says I don't have enemies and when he achieves forgiveness is one of the best manga scenes that will hopefully be animated in some years. But also when you have a will they won't they type relationship in romance, you're kinda proud when the guy or the girl does their confession when you root for them.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, when Rintaro blurted out his confessions, in the beginning we were shocked, but in the end we are proud that he kinda did it, that he did not
Mm.
hesitate.
Yes.
Do you have anything else for the Roman stuff, or
Nope. Nope. You can go on to your scene that you have.
mm, I have something connected with romance, which is complete break and depression. It's cyberpunk. When something really sad happens in the end, then oh boy, this was sad because it involved a great Russian romance with not that much payoff in the end, unfortunately,
Mm.
because stuff happened. And then, because when you have a romantic couple and they do not have a promise, you want to see that they fulfill this promise.
Yes.
But no, they can't fulfill this promise. In the end, the fucking sad song plays and everyone cries. This was depression as hell. Depressive as hell. And then they do it again in Wuva. Then there was depression again. I mean, there are
Yeah.
others.
That's.
Oh, sorry, God.
Mm. No. You can go on.
We can also talk about other sad scenes which are breaking you or where you are sad because someone dies, which you know better.
Mm. Yes, that's mostly a shonen thing. When a character dies, you get motivation out of it. You get grief, anger, frustration, a lot of stuff out of it.
What would you say is kind of a saddest death that you know? Or which are
Ooh,
some of the
ooh,
saddest? You can name multiple if you can't decide on top of your head.
ooh. I would definitely say Dr. Beta.
Good one. Bad.
Dr. Beta was sad. Um, hmm, ooh, tough.
While you think I have the best one from One Piece,
Hmm.
the death from the Going Married.
Oh yeah, true.
This is a rough scene. Oder let us feel
Yes.
emotions while the ship is dying, quote unquote.
Hmm.
Isn't even supposed to have a soul,
Yeah.
but it's still kinda sad.
I would also go for Lengoku-san from Demon Slayer. This death was really heavy.
I mean, it's the best scene from Demon Slayer I've seen, so I can give you a point there.
Yeah, but shonen, you get a lot of deaths, mostly. You could also count in Power or Aki from Chainsaw Man.
Yes, those are the second ones that I had.
Mm,
Those were also rough.
Yeah.
And you also have some brutal deaths in seinen. I think it's kind of sad how Thorfinn's dad dies in the beginning.
Yes, true.
Askeladd died like a legend, but still kind of sad.
Mm.
Cyberpunk again. I would also say the beginning of Frieren is quite sad.
uh, I mean, yeah, I guess.
Ice Death, also quite sad.
Yeah, that's true, true.
I would say the list goes on. We've named enough examples.
Yeah.
But with death,
But
there's the one thing which kills all emotions. It's fake out deaths.
yes.
And we know some authors who are very good at this.
Mm.
Smashima oder Fairy Tail in One Piece.
Yeah.
Even though I don't mind it in Fairy Tail as much as I mind it in One Piece. And why do you think a fake out death ruins emotions?
Mm. I mean, most of the time it's just predictable, and you know it will happen like this, and yeah, um, you're pretty much used to it. Basically, you know it will happen, and it happens, and then yeah, you're like, ah, okay, I knew it would happen like this.
The problem is also that they play it super serious. Like it's final, but it's not final.
Mm.
A great example for a good fake out death, I've recently watched a few episodes of Doro with a friend. In Doro, basically every main character is dying but being brought back to life for various means.
Yes.
But because of that, it's just normal in the world. There are people who can heal people to full HP. There's a pet who can revive people. There are people who are basically undying. That's normal. Even though they are fake out deaths, they are not bad.
Mm.
Because they are not being played as straight. Like imagine Ace comes back at one point or Whitebeard. Bro, that would ruin those scenes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I think fake out deaths are egregious and it's important for emotions to be believable.
Yeah.
That's why I also not like the hype shows at times. Because when yes, this is a personal anime not liking thing for me, and I know I feel still like it, but when I watch an anime, and the same goes for manga at times as well, when you see a really nice fight with nice animation, good music, or when it's drawn in a really nice way, you get emotional because you get hyped.
Mm.
Is the hype there because the scene is written good and it's good, or is it just because it looks good?
Yeah, that's the question.
I mean, it's fine to get hyped because stuff look cool. That's why we like action
Mm.
stuff.
Yes.
I mean, I like Baki. Baki's the dumbest thing on the planet, but I like it when the people they punch each other, even though the story
Mm.
is non-existent. But at times I feel asking myself, was the scene really good, or was it just hype because it looked cool?
Mm. Yeah, I get that.
And with that, I also have another point that emotions, to be good, need to kind of stick. Because the really emotional scenes we remember years down the line. And the scenes that were just hype in the moment or special in the moment, you kind of forget. Like, I
Yes.
remember how Powers and Akis that shook me to the core, how disgusted I was reading certain Berserk scenes, or how happy I was when Margori and Rintaro made their confessions.
Yes.
But I think you can start talking about the next talking point.
So, um, we had shonen romance, and now we will go to the isekai genre, and we will make an isekai episode next week. but also other stuff. So yeah. Um, Isekai is maybe one of the genres where it's mostly about the laughs and stuff because yeah, Isekai is way too oversaturated. It's almost every time the same, but one anime that's that's, that sticks out there is obviously Konosuba because it's way too funny.
You can also put Eminence in the ring.
Yes,
For example, if you want to talk about comedic isekais.
because they stick out because they don't take themselves too serious, and that's a good thing. Because most of the isekais are generic AI shit or stuff. It feels like
Yes,
AI, but I don't think it's AI.
yes, those are parodies of isekai genre. That's why they work.
Yes.
To isekai, I can refer back to my witch hat point. I think people make a lot of isekais and watch a lot of isekais because isekais have mostly the strongest beginning in animes and mangas. Well, not the strongest, the most interesting.
Hmm.
Because when you pop into an isekai, it's always interesting to learn how the world works, what the power system is, what races there are, what architectures there, how the also how the hierarchical power dynamics are there
Hmm.
kings, lords, and stuff. That's why you always start watching a few isekais just for a few episodes.
Yeah.
And then when you know how everything works, that curiosity, that emotion is gone, and then it's boring.
Hmm.
Because after that, oh, everything is the same. Yeah, we have a harem, the OP guy, and stuff.
Yeah.
The plot is shallow. It's all wish fulfillment.
Hmm. Yes. Isekai genre is yeah, hooked. Like every new season of anime, you get 3 or 5 new isekai, and they are all generic. So it's no use watching isekai anymore because you don't feel anything anymore because they are all the same nowadays.
I mean, there are some examples who are really good.
Yes.
There's one isekai which I still think you should watch, but you are refusing to watch. You know what show I mean.
Uh, nope, nope.
It's a Chinese show.
Uh, oh, you mean,
Lord of
yeah,
Lord of Mysteries is an isekai. The guy
okay,
gets reincarnated in the beginning,
okay.
and because it's the best. Because the world building does not stop to get boring. It's so good. The world is so depth, and there's a lot of stuff. You really need to log in to check everything. You need to do serious gamer pose.
Okay.
So it does not lose its marvel. At least for me, after reading like 300 chapters from a novel. And they still have 1,500 chapters to go. Real book chapters, by the way. And there's a part 2 with a new
Crazy.
novel. I mean, they want to animate part 1 in a 10-year plan. So we are logged in for a few years watching that.
I see, I see.
You should watch it as well. It has a J dub, it's not that hard.
Um, yes, isekai. Yeah, some good like Mushoku or yes, ReZero banger show. I yapped a lot in the latest episode about it.
Nearly forgot to mention your favorite.
Mm,
Close but no cigar.
yes, yes. Um,
Slime, you also like that one?
yes. But slime is more like you can chill. It's not about the emotions most of the time. Sometimes you get to feel something, but most of the time you're just chill. Your mind is at ease because
That's
nothing.
all. That's also an emotion when you're calm, when you're chilled,
Yeah,
when you're relaxed.
that's why I like. I've killed slime for 100 days. I've killed slime for 100 years and maxed out my level or something.
Yes. I have one last thing when I talk about isekais.
What is
I
it?
don't know if it's an emotion or if you how I should phrase the emotion. It's wish fulfillment and escapism. But I
Yes.
don't know a term which I can relate with that emotion specifically.
Mm,
Because it's kind of an emotion when you want to just escape from your world and want to explore a new world and just get away from your day-to-day life. But I
yeah.
don't know the correct term for that if I want to put it in
Phew, I don't know
word of an
either.
emotion. But you know from a description why I think it could fit as an emotion.
Yes, yes,
There's also a strength from the isekai genre.
it is. Cause who don't want to have some OP powers and pull all the baddies in another world where nobody knows you?
Yes. And with OP powers, I also have a quite specific emotion on my list, which is represented best with Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, which is also kinda an isekai. I've named that thing Dirty Smirk. I mean with that when you cheese something, you have that diabolically grin on your face. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yes.
That also happens a lot in isekai, when you have an OP power and cheese something, and which makes you kinda happy when you cheese stuff in video games.
Mm,
I mean, everybody of us is happy when you play like a Dark Souls game where the Dark Souls boss is falling from a cliff and dies like a baboon.
yeah.
Everyone is happy when that happens. It laughs. So quite emotional cheesing stuff.
Mm, yes, but I think we can go on to the next stuff.
I have now a bit more negative emotions. I would
Mm-hmm.
say I have two negative emotions, which are also kinda one side of the same coin. It's wrath, disappointment, and anger. Up first, I want to talk about being angry at characters in something. When a character does something utterly disgusting. Like Griffith, for example, in Berserk, when he does his thing.
Mm,
Or when that bastard lord in Innocent comes and does his thing with Marie when she was a 12-year-old child. And after that, you are happy when the bastard gets executed, and then you feel some fulfillment.
yes.
Or the villain does something utterly disgusting as being beaten in the end. Which is setup and payoff. And I want to talk about the setup of Wrath. Do you also have scenes, characters, or plot lines which made you angry in a good sense that you were invested in the show because of that?
Um, I would say obviously Dio Brando is good villain for that because
Yes,
he,
we
'cause-
hate the guy.
yeah, but he's good used, I would say.
He's cool enough and funny enough that we like him as a character, but we hate him as a story.
Yes,
That's why you want to see him beaten. Especially in part one at the beginning when he kills the dog and bullies Jonathan.
yes, that's what I wanted to get at.
Yes.
Other stuff? Do you have another example for that?
Dofi from One Piece.
Ah, yeah, true, true.
When he manipulates people when you know that he had that not so consensual relationship with Violet, stuff like that.
Hmm,
Or in general, when unconsensual stuff happens. We hate the bastard from Gacha Yakuta with the Amo flashback, for
yes.
example. That guy is a piece of shit.
Or Show Tucker from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes, exactly. But those scenes stick in our memory because of that.
Hmm,
I mean, it's with Shotaka. It's probably one of the famous scenes from Full Metal Alchemist.
yeah.
Because of that, because we are angry.
Hmm,
And when we talked about it in the social media episode, when you are angry about something, you are more invested, kinda.
yeah, that's true.
And that brings me towards the other side of anger, if you don't have anything else.
Nope, nope.
When you're angry of a show because it choked, or something happened that you don't like.
Hmm.
Basically, it fell off.
Yes.
Like, I would say we both like JJK,
Mm-hmm.
but after in the middle of a culling game art, it just got bad, and we got angry at it.
Yes.
Seven Deadly Sins was good in the beginning, then it got to 7 deadly frames, then I was angry again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you have any shows that you also liked, but now you don't like anymore because, well, it choked, kinda?
Um, Chainsaw Man, kinda. I would say it's still okay for me, but yeah, it choked.
You also don't like Bunny Girl Senpai that much, right?
Yes.
It was
I,
at one point in your top 10.
yes, I loved it, but now, yeah, it's boring.
Yes, that's the kind of negative emotions or angry emotions that you don't want to have.
Mm,
It's something good bad. Oshinoko ending also, yikes, not that
yeah.
good. Oh boy, people were angry when that ended.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Another famous one is Naruto. I mean, you don't know it, but oh boy, were people angry back in the day. Because like, anger can be good at times, but it can also be bad.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you have another point that you want to talk about?
I have a specific show this time, and I wanted to talk about Monogatari, of course.
I
Okay,
have the same point, so I can also say something about it.
nice. Yeah, Monogatari is a show that makes you feel confused a lot, because yeah, Monogatari is maybe one of the weirdest anime that I've ever seen, but at the same time one of the best I've ever seen because it's so unique.
Yes. I've also the confused in WTF part.
Yes.
And overwhelming when you're getting just bombarded with weird stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One of the best shows that does it is also DRCL. It's basically Monogatari, just better for me. We have also Doro in that category. Because in Doro so much absurd shit happens. But in that show it kinda works because it explains it kinda well. With the world building and the magic.
Mm.
Also, if we talk about weirdness, JoJo needs to be mentioned.
Yes.
And JoJo's are always confused when the newsstand spawns and think, what the fuck is that?
Mm.
And then you learn it most of the times.
Yes.
So confusion can also be a good thing.
Yes,
Because
of
if you are
course.
confused and you are puzzled, you want to dispel the confusion and understand.
Mm. But what's really good about Monogatari is the animations not being um, normal, because you get real life frames, you get yeah, you get really weird frames at times, and it's so good. I like it because it's so unique. You've never seen something like this before, and yeah, it's really good. Monogatari. I love the show.
Yes. It also feels in a bit in the same thing as the curiosity stuff.
Mm.
Because when shows do something new and or do something which you already know in another way, then then you are getting curious because you want to know what new the show does.
Yes,
That was not the right word, but you know what I wanted to say.
I know. Yeah.
Let me check what I have on the list.
Hmm.
I have one thing,
Yes.
which is when a scene happens and you know what's going to happen, and but you think to yourself, why does it have to be this way?
Mm.
And you see the build up to something really worse happening. Like the Ammo flashback is a good example. The Eclipse. Or stuff that happens in Eden. when it's just going to be the worst thing which you're ever going to see, and it's going to happen, but you can't stop reading or watching.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you know a character's dying, when you know, "Ooh, this guy is dead," and you think to yourself, "Oh no, why does it have to be this way?"
Yeah,
That's also an interesting emotion.
it is. Another thing that's quite funny, um, we didn't mention before is, of course, edgy anime.
Yes, I have neuron activation as well.
Um,
We kind of mention it with simple stuff.
yeah.
But go on.
Um, yes, edgy. Yeah, it's easy because your monkey brain gets activated. You, yeah, you see boobs. Your mind goes, boobas. Yeah.
Yes, but sometimes that's also nice because there are moments when you just don't want to think and just want to watch some entertaining and simple stuff.
Yes.
That's one thing that, for example, Demon Slayer is also good in. Just be entertained with simplicity.
Hmm.
Or Baki, I think that I like as well.
Yes.
Or edgy stuff. There's no bigger plot. It's just cool hype scenes or solo leveling. Cool hype scenes, cool fight. You don't need to focus on the plot or what's going on. You can even be half a good time of phone, but when you start watching the screen again or reading again, you are going to see something cool.
Or you see boobies.
Those are also cool. Or would you
Yes.
disagree? Or would you disagree?
No. Um, by the way, if you talk about edgy, have you seen the Bleach movie memes with Yoruichi?
You said no. I read the manga.
Yes, but the memes are crazy. And
Yoichi is one of the best Bleach characters.
yeah, I can see why. The bumps. Uh, yeah.
Yes, I would at this point say you should also watch Bleach, but I know it's too long for you, so I have given up trying to recommend you that.
I will at one day. One day I will do it, but yeah, the time will come, but not now.
If the time hasn't come now, the time won't come, but because in the last few weeks there was a perfect moment for you to start watching Bleach. You had so much time.
Yes. But I started
So,
watching Black Butler because Black Butler is also quite long, I think.
mm,
It has 5 seasons with 24 episodes. So,
I think the manga is also 30 plus volumes or something.
yeah,
Or in
it's.
the end of 20. But Black Butler is also a thing which has with for emotions, which I have not on the list, but it's also worth talking about. Problematic stuff. Because you watch some shows which are kind of problematic at times,
Hmm.
but you like it because it's some spice.
Yes.
Domestic girlfriend. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oops.
Yes. Yes.
Rental girlfriend.
Ah, I wouldn't say it's that problematic.
It, it's not that problematic, but it's also not good. And you watch it for the spice and for the trashiness.
Yeah, but I don't watch it anymore. Luckily. Cause how did this shit get 6 seasons already?
Yes.
Yeah, I should sell the manga of Rent a Girlfriend that I have.
I've already sold it years ago, but I also had way too much volumes.
Hmm. I thought it would be good at some point, but yeah.
Hmm. I mean, it had one good arc. I think the movie arc is still good.
Yeah, yeah.
This one's good.
Yes. But do you have anything else for
Yes.
emotions?
One
Yes.
last thing.
Okay.
Disappointment in characters, which can be good. Because when the story is written like the character does something disappointing, but in a cool way, then you like it. when it's a cool twist, for example, or when the character suddenly changes and you're disappointed in their character change.
Mm.
For example, in Innocent, we have Charles Henri Sanson, the main character, who is a very idealistic guy who wants to make a world a better place and not does not want to fit into the aristocratic system. But suddenly, he grew older and had a family and had child, and then he thought to himself, "Oh, I need to be part of a system to get food and money for my family."
Mm.
So he dropped his idealism, which was kind of disappointing, and because the scene where that happened was very disappointed. I was disappointed in the guy, but it's really good written. Because when we were young, we also had kind of dreams and values, which we had, but we are not following them anymore.
Yeah.
And our child self would be disappointed in us. Like, I wanted to be an author when I was young, but, well, my writing skills are not that good. So I dropped that, and I'm now a reader.
Mm.
And because that, my younger self would be disappointed in me.
Yes.
Do you also have characters in which you are disappointed in a good way?
Uh, phew. Out of my head, I can't think of anyone, to be honest.
In romances, for example, there are scenes when a character choked, but it was kind of well written, for example.
Oh.
Or in a shown character when you're disappointed when someone lost a fight, but the loss made sense, it was still a good fight.
Hmm. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Some examples like that.
Hmm.
And with that, I wanted to say in the end, even though some emotions can be negative, they can be good for a story if they are written and used well. That's why I wanted to
Yes.
end with that point.
Yes. Yes. With that, what will we do in the next episode?
You
Um,
already said it.
yes, but it's not that we only talk about isekai. It will mostly be about isekai because isekai is the most fast food genre, but of course, romance genre is also fast food. Shonen is also fast food. Yeah, we will talk about fast food anime. So,
And manga.
yes, so basically stuff that you consume like fast food, but it's not that good, but you consume
The
it.
longer the title is, the more fast food it is.
Yes.
That's the short answer.
So, yes. With that, I hope you stay tuned for this episode.
Hear you next week.
Until then, have a good time and bye.
Bye.